right, we are back, That Entrepreneur Show, and I'm back in the studio with my good friend Carlos Garcia. If you missed our first collab together, we brought Shane Smith on the show, gave a lights out episode on his new business, how he's been helping people start these companies as they grow older, they age. There might be some itty bitty committees in their head. Shane has a proven, effective strategy for you to get over those fears, launch that company. For today, we're bringing on Brooke. Carlos, Brooke, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
Always an honor to be here.
All right. Brooke networked with us through Carlos. Carlos, how did you two meet?
Yeah, so I actually met Brooke. We were both recording segments on the local news channel Late Show, right? The Bloom Show.
Yep.
And you were going on there to talk a little bit about what you do and providing some value. So that's how we met, Brooke.
Yep. We were in the waiting room and somebody was asking what everybody does. And then me and you just kind of connected. And I was like, ooh, I kind of want to talk to him because I felt like, I don't know, you kind of get people. When you see people, you just feel a connection. So.
Yeah. There was an energy connection.
Yeah,
for sure.
You never know who you're going to meet at any time, and now this has blossomed into a great friendship, and I'm honored to meet you, dig deep into your story.
Yeah.
And for today, let's start by focusing on why you started your journey.
Mm-hmm.
You became an entrepreneur, you had a life event happen, you overcame, you thrived, now you're here doing great work. Let's learn why it started.
So, being an entrepreneur, so I wanted to kind of own my own business for a long time, but initially I was a ICU dietitian, so I was working at the hospital in the ICU. This is during COVID. Everyone was dying. We weren't allowed in the patient's rooms anymore. No family was allowed to visit, so I was literally just in my office all day writing notes for 8 hours a day about how a patient is dying. It went on for months and months, and eventually I was like, you know what? This is not fulfilling in any way. So I said, you know what? Let me start taking one client. Let me just see what happens. And I did. I took my first client, actually from the ICU doctor. He had said, hey, can you help my daughter? I'm like, I guess. And then I was like, you know what? This is really easy. How is not every dietitian doing this? So one client turned into 2 and 3, and it snowballed. And then before I knew it, I had a wait list. So that was amazing. It was awesome.
Are you online only, in person only? Where can we find your services online?
Everything is 100% virtual. If you were to go to my website, brookthedietitian.com, that's where most of the information is, but also my social media, which is Brooke Sobh RD, and you'll find all the applications to start, or you could even just message me because I talk to everybody. So
love that. So Brooke, tell me, as an entrepreneur, right, like, in order for our business and for us to be successful, we have to be firing on all cylinders, right? And that means, like, our mindset has to be in the right place. Physically, we need to be putting the right foods in our bodies, sleeping well. So in addition to being a registered dietitian, how do you take some of what you've learned or some of what you sort of help clients with to help your own performance as an entrepreneur?
It's an everyday battle, I feel like, because, I have 2 kids and a husband and 2 dogs, and just keeping up with life in general is really hard when you own a business. But I know that when you eat good, you feel good. When you look good, you feel good. Yes. And it's just, I want to present myself in the best way. And to do that, you have to take care of yourself. And I try to tell my clients all the time that, sometimes people don't know how good it feels to feel good. And I want to help you get there.
Yeah.
Because some people think that they're just going to be tired the rest of their life and hate their body. Yeah. And that's not the case. Like, it doesn't just stop when you turn 45 and you go through menopause. I have a lot of women who are like, well, that's it. I guess my life's over now. And it's like, no, we can get so much better than this. And you can thrive. It's going to be okay. Like, I can help you through it. Like, so I take what I give off to them, and I do it myself because I'm like, they're counting on me and I'm counting on them. So I'm going to do it and show them that I can do it too, with 2 kids, a job, a husband. Just had just had a baby, just health issues, whatever. I can do it too. You can do it. Let's go. Like, we'll do it together.
I like how you put that there, and we've spoken about this. You're coaching other people, but you're practicing it as well. In therapy,
right,
being on the other side of the table,
mm-hmm.
being able to give those first-hand experiences, you think that plays a major role in helping these clients?
Yeah, absolutely. Because
agree.
I also feel like when I connect with them, especially moms, like when my clients are moms just get it because we're all overstimulated, tired, stressed, feel like we're gonna have a heart attack at all times. But when you're connecting with a mom, I feel like, they want me as a dietitian versus my other dietitians who aren't moms, because I just get them.
Yeah.
And I feel that connection with them.
Totally. Brooke, would you mind sharing like where people can find your content? Because we met and you had just had your second baby.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started following you on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And like a week later, you're posting these videos, not only like you exercising. I was like, wow, I was really impressed by it. But the other reason I'm super, I just think you bring so much value, and I am really impressed with your content. It's really authentic. Like, you're really speaking from the heart. Like, you really connect with people.
Mm-hmm.
So one, please share where people can find you on social media. But also, if you don't mind sharing with us a little bit about like what that's like for you, right? To sort of step into your own vulnerability and share some of your own sort of struggles in order to connect with your viewers and your clients.
Mm-hmm. So my social media, my Instagram is Brooke Sobh RD, BROOKESOBHRD.
Awesome.
And that's where all of my videos are, and you can find links to all sorts of things I offer. But the reason why I tell people, it's hard. I get it. It's hard for me too. I'm tired. I woke up anyway. Like, I have 5 minutes to do a workout. I'm going to do it for 5 minutes. 5 minutes is better than 0.
Wow.
Yes,
Like,
love that.
we have to do something. It's not going to be perfect. You don't have to have shoes on. You don't have to go to a gym. Just get a 15-pound weights and do it for 5 minutes, and then go on, move on with your day. Like,
yeah.
And I put that out there because people think that it has to be perfect, and they have to have the best shoes, have the best clothes, have the best headphones, go to the gym, whatever, and spend all this time in the gym and then drive all the way home. And that's like 3 hours. And that doesn't have to be that way. Just get some dumbbells, put them in the middle of your floor, do it for 5 minutes, and then go work. Like,
I love that. Giving sort of people permission to get out of this mindset of it has to look some certain way, some certain perfect way, and
getting out of your own way too. Just removing that ability to make the excuse, I have to go to the gym. No, get in the mindset of something's better than nothing. And I'm a big advocate for that as well. You're crushing it so far. This is really, really special episode now. You can see her authenticity. She's really passionate about what she does, and I think that's a big part of entrepreneurship, at least for me. My passion behind this has helped me push through the hard times, all the times like, should I give up? Should I not? No, I'm going to keep going because you're passionate about it. What's next for you? I know you have a lot on your plate. Is there anything you want to highlight, or is there something next you're working on?
Right now, I'm working with a bariatric surgeon in the area, so we are working with the clients that he has, or the patients that he has. So anybody who goes through bariatric surgery or gets weight loss medications has to consult with a dietitian. So that's kind of new, because a lot of these people who are on these weight loss medications just don't eat. So then they lose all the weight. But they're paying thousands of dollars a month for this medication. And then what are you going to do when you stop paying for it? You're probably going to gain the weight back. So the good thing about this program is that we're helping them to prevent that from happening and teaching them how to eat rather than just giving them a pill to not eat. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like the newest stuff that we're doing at the moment.
Giving people the ability to take action on their own.
Yes.
I think that's very important.
Yeah.
There's a saying, you could read 1,000 books, but if you don't do anything from the book, then what's the point of the information?
I like also too sort of what you do there, which is something as a therapist I help my clients do. which is also something very sort of necessary in the entrepreneurial world, right? It's sort of marrying like insight and understanding of where the patterns come from, what's getting in the way, but also marrying that with action, right? Putting new behaviors into place. It sounds like you sort of have a good balance of doing that with your clients.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm always looking for something new. I think like also as an entrepreneur, something I always say, and not that I learned this from anything, but I just say yes to everything.
Oh,
if somebody asks
this.
me to do something, I'm like, let's do it.
Yeah.
Even for this podcast, I'm like, okay, let's do it. A doctor's like, hey, I'd like to meet. I'm like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Anything at all. I'm like, yes, because you never know what you're going to learn from that experience. Even the bloom. I had just given birth, and I was like, you know what? Let's do it. My husband drove me there because I wasn't yet cleared to drive, and I'm like, all right, I'm not in the greatest of shape. My arms look jiggly, but whatever. I'm going to do it, So I say yes to everything.
Brooke, I'm curious here, and here's the therapist in me, right? Like, just this is what I do. But like, where does that come from for you to sort of step into that place in your life where you just start saying yes to things, right? Because there's fear that comes sometimes with stepping into new things.
I try not to think about the fear, and I just do it. So even if I'm scared, I do it anyway.
Love that.
And I think that that was a quote like growing up I loved. It was, "Oh, you're scared? Do it anyway."
Beautiful.
So. Even though I'm scared, it doesn't stop me. I'm just gonna do it because you don't know what comes from that. And so much of me is like, life is so short. Just do it. Like,
amazing.
I love that. I don't know where it comes from, to be honest with you. I just, maybe the momentum that I get every time it happens, and I do say yes to something, and then it just gets better and better. So maybe that, I don't know.
There's an absolute sort of reinforced pattern, right?
Yeah.
I think that for most of us, when we meet that fear that's showing up, whether it's a mental one or a real one, and we realize that we can overcome, that's how we start to sort of see that a lot of the narratives that we carry around about what we're capable of are outdated or don't serve us. And so it's a great way to build confidence. It's a great way to become more courageous and brave. So thank you. That's beautiful.
And you know what, I think
inspiring.
also for like entrepreneurs, I feel like a lot of us feel like everything has to be perfect. Whatever you post has to be perfect.
Yeah.
On the way here,
It's a
I
great
posted the fact that I'm coming here, right?
Love it.
I had a typo in my story, and I was like, screw it, whatever. It's staying on. So, because whatever. It's nobody's going to even notice that.
Right.
I noticed it, but nobody else is going to.
That's the point. A lot of times when I make these mistakes, will anyone else even notice it? Or is it just me, the itty-bitty committee in my head saying, do this?
Yeah.
And also, you allude to the point where just put something out there. It doesn't have to be perfect. As a solopreneur for most of my journey, I've had to do every single thing that comes with the company. Social media, sometimes I'm not the best, but I still post it. Like you're saying, just put something out there. Everyone, don't get in your own way. I think that's a great lesson to teach everyone. The floor is yours to end the show here, Brooke. What would you like to end us off on?
Well, just like I said before, I mean, you're scared, do it anyway. In order to be an entrepreneur, when I first started, what helped me was a course that actually they had for dietitians of how to start your own business. 'Cause I didn't know anything, and it was like $5,000, way out of my budget, but I was like, screw it, I gotta do something. So I'm sure there's a course out there for all different kinds of entrepreneurs. So find that course, just start. Nothing has to be perfect. And I still make mistakes, and everybody does. And it doesn't have to be like the best thing ever for it to go public. Just, you'll learn as you go.
I love that.
And then,
I love that.
Yeah.
If I could just, I just because, I know this story about you, Brooke, and it's a very powerful one. And I think one of the things that makes this show really stand out from the rest is we get to the real, right? We get to the deep stuff. And, in my experience of working with and interviewing entrepreneurs, I always find that sometimes, or oftentimes, there's something that has transpired in their personal life that allows them to have the grit to move through the fear and to move through a lot of the stuff that they face in the entrepreneurial journey. I'm wondering if you wouldn't mind sort of sharing that story, because you told it to me before and I was so moved by it.
Yeah. So when I gave birth, I thought it was going to be just a normal birth. Because my first child, it was a normal vaginal birth. Everything was perfect. Everything went well. And so I was like, okay, just going to the hospital, gonna have the baby, gonna go home in 2 days, like no big deal. So that turned into a complete disaster. I ended up having to have an emergency C-section during the birth. At that time, who knows what happened, but I wouldn't stop bleeding. And so ended up having a postpartum hemorrhage. I lost most of the blood in my body. I was white. They were transfusing me with blood. I had to have like 3 separate surgeries to figure out what is going on. It just wouldn't stop bleeding. And I wasn't even like coherent in the moment, actually. My husband was the one advocating for me, like, you need to do this, she needs this, all of the things, because I wasn't even like, I don't even remember it, to be honest. Most of it.
Sure.
I don't think I held the baby afterwards. I don't even remember it, to be honest. I can't even
Wow.
I don't know. But after all of that, that was really, really hard. Everybody's telling me, you're going to need therapy. You're probably not going to go back to work for a while. And everybody, meaning the doctors, the nurses, they're all hugging me. And that makes me think, wow, I almost died. Like, that was almost it. And I remember even looking at the monitor and I saw my blood pressure was like 80/60 at one point. And I remember thinking, that's not good, this is going to be bad. And then, thank God, they did another surgery that stopped the bleeding. And I was able to recover and go home after a week in the hospital. But that was, that's probably the hardest thing that's ever happened to me, because you think everything's going to be perfect. You never even know what could happen, know. Next thing you know, I'm on all these blood transfusions. I'm swollen everywhere. I look like I'm going to die. Like, I looked like it. So that was really, really hard.
We're lucky enough to have you here today to share that story. Thank you.
Thank you, Brooke. I really appreciate you stepping into your vulnerability, your feelings, because this is a hard journey, right? Whether like life in general, right? Not just being an entrepreneur, but the things that happen to us. But I truly believe, I've talked to so many people now, that it's those challenging things in our life that give us the courage and the bravery to move through and then help inspire others. So I know that story probably just touched a lot of people out there. So thank you for your courage. Thank you for your bravery. Thank you for everything you're doing for our Tampa community. And thank you for being a guest on our show today.
I love it. I mean, I love talking about all of this stuff, and I love helping the community. I love being here for the women around. I feel like most of my clients are women. I do have some men, but mostly women. But I think the biggest thing is the connection I have with them, and they become my friends, and we talk about more things than just food. It ends up they're crying and then I'm crying. It's just this whole thing, but I love it, and it's way better than working in the ICU. So I'm glad that I'm here today.
Wonderful. Awesome.
Well, we're glad you're here too. And before we sign off, let's show some love to our guest host today, Carlos. Where can we find you online? Where can we find out all the great things you're up to?
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram, Dr. Carlos A. Garcia, where I'm posting most of my stuff, what's going on, anything around therapy, wellness, mindset. If you're interested in any of that content, that's where you can find me.
All right, be sure to go check out both of their content right now. The show's at That Entrepreneur Show. I am at Vincent A. Lanci. Head to the Vincent A. Lanci YouTube channel. With that, we are signing off here at the CRES community. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.